Tonight, we're drinking Four Locos because fuck me. It's actually kind of a more special episode. It's Four Loco Stories with Trent Hankins. I want to go ahead and introduce yourself there, man.
What's up, guys? I'm just going to crack this cold boy open right here.
God, this fucking nasty, disgusting. I felt super trashy buying these. Like, oh, man. First of all, the gas station at the bottom was like 2 for $5.50, so they were $2.75 a piece. And I got the watermelon ones, and oh my god, that's bringing back a lot of memories. Oh. I don't think I've drinking one of these when I was over 21. Like, I love how like they're marketed to like 18-year-olds.
Absolutely,
and like
it looks like an energy drink.
Yeah, and then there's a big ass stamp on the sides like "We ID." But I got the watermelon ones because that's the ones that I've had before, and I did not like them at all. And
so you decided to pick the worst possible?
Yeah, because this is the Whiskey Dan Radio show where we go hard, damn it. Oh man, that does not
taste like.
Tastes like gas station bathroom cleaner.
Like melted Jolly Ranchers and turpentine.
Yeah. God, it's fucking horrible. It's 12% alcohol by volume, which is...
it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. Yeah, I mean, it comes in, what's this, like? It's like a PST can, so like my penis... No, I'm kidding. It's a 24-ounce can, 23-ounce can, and for $2.75, probably gets you pretty fucked up. So I have two Four Loko stories. One is pretty mild, just my first experience. The other one's pretty wild, which is where the poster came from, which I've showed you.
Oh god.
I'll do my mild one, then you can do one of yours, and then we'll do the other one later. Then we got some other topics we can discuss. Okay. The first time I had a Four Loko was this one. We were hanging out in a 2-bed, 1-bathroom apartment here off of Biloxi. So not too far away from where we're sitting now. I was probably like 18 at the time, and they were like, "Oh, we're all gonna get Four Locos." I'm like, what is it? And like, it's an energy drink and beer. And somebody looked it up. It's like, actually, it's not an energy drink anymore. They stopped doing that because it's like really bad for you.
Because it kills people.
Yeah. Like, have you ever done like meth and heroin? Like, that's what you're kind of doing.
Yeah.
I don't even want to drink it anymore. But so they had just all brought them over. And it was one for each of us. And mind you, like I probably like hadn't eaten like much, and I probably wasn't very well hydrated because I didn't really understand like how hydration works till I was like 19.
Or alcohol tolerance.
Yeah, or alcohol tolerance. Because like it was because like the younger, like I drink a lot now. Like I drink frequently, but not near as much. So I wound up enjoying it a lot more. Because like when I was younger, I was like, I don't know when I'm going to get it again, so I'm going to get fucking trashed at like 8:45 p.m. And just I've never thrown up drunk, but I've been like
I refuse to believe that.
I have never thrown up drunk. I guarantee you. Now, granted, like it's always all out the other end the next morning.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't have that problem.
See, like whiskey shits, it burns going in, it burns coming out. Like that's a thing. But anyway, so we were just all hanging out, probably playing like Mario Kart 64 or something. We're just drinking these Four Locos. It was me and like 5 people. And the next thing I know, like, it all kicked in at the same time for everyone. And we just start, like, next thing I know, like, most people are in their underwear. We're, like, throwing shit. Like, I was doing, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, elbowing, like, jumping on the couch and shit.
You all turned into junior high kids
staying
in a hotel.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what happened. It was, like, a school field trip and, like, the overnight stay. And it was, like, somebody brought, like, an Xbox. And, like, that's what it was. And I was like, these are the best fucking things ever. And I was just like they tasted terrible. And then, of course, we're all in bed by like 10:30 because we were just like had no alcohol tolerance. And then some like the people that were 21 that had bought them, like they had stayed up and kept drinking. But all the younger ones, we were just like in bed or just did not feel good because it's essentially like drinking a soda with alcohol. Like that's what because it's as sweet as it is.
Canned mixed drinks.
Oh, God. This is bad. I think I'll go back to that fucking sugar tit 120. That was like drinking. That was hard. But this was... This like makes my jaw hurt.
I can't drink this without thinking about the Four Loko story that I have.
All right. We'll go ahead. Because like that was just like my first experience with it.
Yeah.
It just turned into just... Yeah, like it went from... a couple dudes hanging out, and there was one girl there. And then it turned into, just like junior high crashing up. But it was somebody's apartment. And like, it was the other guy who was like the roommate, like wasn't fucking home. So we just like destroyed his house. He like comes home from work.
Oh, he was pissed.
And he just sees like a bunch of drunk children. He's like, what in the goddamn? Like, all right, this is... And he just like went to bed. I was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, just shut the fuck up. I remember that happening. I felt bad the next day. I felt bad and hungover. But all right, so what you got?
Well, it was the summer after I had graduated, and me and my two friends from high school. I don't know if I'm gonna name them or not. Probably shouldn't.
I usually
I'm not gonna out anybody
like unless they've been on the show. I just say like my friend or someone I know.
So two of my friends from high school, we decided we're gonna get together because my mom's out of town for the weekend, and they're both gonna come to Kilgore where I live at the time, and we're just gonna get like fucked up.
How? If y'all were all like 18.
I worked at Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you just like snuck a couple out, or
Well, I had coworkers that I was on good terms with that were over 21. And so they would just like pass it to me in the parking lot. So both my friends come over. I honestly can't even remember like everything that we had, but I do know there was watermelon Four Loko involved because I had to clean it up off the bathroom floor later that night.
It's a super unique flavor. Like it's not good, but you know it. Like when we cracked them open, I could smell it. I was like,
it tastes like drinking a Yankee Candle, in the worst possible way.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's so chunky, like it's not even hot all the way through. God, these are terrible.
Okay, so anyways, fast forward, and both my buddies are over at my house, and we're drinking. I think there was like Boone's Farm involved and some type of cheap whiskey.
Just way too much alcohol for like 3 people.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, all of us coming out of high school, we were we were the guys that didn't party in high school.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
We were the guys that just like hung out and played video games and didn't really like do anything to cross our parents or anything like that.
Yeah, like you might have like snuck a Black and Mild or something, but it wasn't ever like super like fuck you mom, like I'm fucking bitches, I'm partying. Yeah, I wasn't that kid either.
Yeah, so I mean we wilded out. I mean,
right?
We didn't know our boundaries,
as one does. And you found those boundaries.
I'm playing my friend in beer pong in the living room, and I hear like somebody sprint down the hall towards my bathroom, and I see the door slam as I turn and look down the hallway, and I just like look back to my friend that I'm playing beer pong with, and I'm like, did he really? And I look at the clock, and it's probably close to like maybe 1 a.m. I'm like, okay, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
And he's in there for maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
I go down the hallway to check on him, and I open up the door, and he's just like leaned over, like with his head like on the bathtub. And I look at the toilet, and it looked like somebody had just like taken somebody's head and smashed it with the toilet seat lid.
Oh, just all like the red chunks.
Red everywhere.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's not good. I bet the smell was terrible.
Oh, it smelled exactly like this.
Like this mixed with vomit?
Yeah.
Ugh. Lovely. They should make a Yankee Candle out of that.
Yeah.
Four Loko vomit.
Four Loko will make you sleep in a bunk bed, too.
What? Say what?
My other friend that I was playing beer pong with, he got so drunk that he passed out in my little brother's bunk bed that was in the room next to mine.
And he wasn't home?
No, he was with my mom.
Oh, okay.
My little brother is like significantly younger than me.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he was like a toddler at the time.
Oh.
It was just funny. It was like comical seeing a 19-year-old kid passed out in a toddler's bunk bed.
Yeah.
I could just paint that picture for you.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's fucking... So did you, like, have to clean it all up?
Oh, yeah. And I had to do it, like, while I was drunk. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do chores while you're drunk.
Not fun.
But it's the absolute worst thing.
Have you ever done chores high? Or, like, try to, like, clean your house if you're, like, stoned out of your mind?
I don't get it how people do it.
It's not possible. Like it is like okay, like if I am doing something and I'm like, but I also want to smoke or I want to like, have a couple of drinks and I don't know how much I'm gonna have. I like wash the dishes. I put everything away. Like all my laundry's done. I'm not trying to do jack shit until sorry. I don't want to like get super high and then try to spend 20 minutes trying to fold a shirt because that'll happen.
Yeah, because you just like...
Or if you're drunk trying to clean something like, this is good enough, and like it's nowhere near close to being done.
You wake up and all the dishes are half done.
Yeah, just like,
then you have to do them again.
Or like you didn't like do something quite right, so that's like a bigger mess than what like had been. Like you put actual dish soap in the dishwasher, so it's just like everywhere.
There's foam all over the kitchen
It's
floor.
like,
And you're like, why do I even try?
So you cleaned it up drunk. Did you just go to bed? Did y'all like clean it up the next morning more?
Nah, man. Like after I had cleaned it up, he had passed out for a minute, and then he woke back up and he tried to fight me.
What?
Yeah. I don't even know what the argument was about, man. This is like he just like physically like wanted to fight me, and I'm like, I don't get what you're doing, dude. What's wrong? Why are you? He ended up. I think I went to bed before he did, but I think the other one went to bed first in my brother's bed.
Oh, okay. He was out for the count.
Oh yeah, he was done for. I woke up the next morning, probably it was super early because I was anxious about my mom getting home, and I wanted to like clean everything up.
So you wake up with like a pounding headache, you feel like shit.
Yeah,
house smells like vomit.
It was probably 8 a.m. and I got up and. It's hard to describe, but I walked down the hallway and into my living room, and the buddy that threw up the Four Loko in the bathroom, he's passed out, but it's like he had crawled under my end table and like sort of under my couch,
like in the living room.
In the living room,
that's like, just where he wound up. Like he like I'm going under there.
He was dead ass under the couch asleep.
All right. Did your mom ever find out?
No.
Well, hope she's not listening to this podcast.
Well don't refer.
Okay? Yeah.
Don't tell mom, okay?
Yeah, see, I never did anything stupid at my parents' house, like if they weren't there. Like every time I've gotten drunk, like they were also there.
Yeah.
Usually drunk, because we're that kind of family, apparently. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of... No, nothing like that ever happened. Damn, boy, your phone's wet as hell. But so my wild Four Loko story, the Towel Boy story. Okay, so for all the loyal listeners out there, old Keith Mang, he's been on the show a few times. He used to go by the name Towel Boy, and this is why. We still have posters available in an incredibly limited run, but I can get some more printed up if you want. That being said, Four Loko night. So this is my second year at TJC, and like the first time that I had Four Lokos, I was a freshman, and we just like dubbed it as like Four Loko, and we're like, remember we got like tore the fuck up, tore the entire apartment up, and I'm pretty sure like one dude like I do remember the first night like one guy like got the runs real bad from it, so he just like shit for like he was in the bathroom for like 2 hours just shitting. God. But I think we had like Taco Bell or something beforehand. And,
well, that makes sense.
Like that mixed with a Four Loko was just a bad recipe, and this dude was like not very healthy, so. I'm like, yeah, like we need to do that again. Like I don't know why we thought this is a good idea. So we told like all like the freshmen that were like cool and like wanted to like cool with drinking, like wanted to hang out and stuff. Told all that. Well, Keith was probably one of the coolest guys. I mean, he's one of the coolest guys I know, and that's not just because he's black. He's just a cool guy. But actually, side note: the first time I met Keith, we had to line up next to each other for like a pregame march. We were spelling out TJC, and we were part of the T or something. We were like right next to each other. And then there's this chick, white girl, and she played. She was part of the drum pit, and she played cymbals for like the marching routine. But she did like a bunch of other stuff too. And she was probably 7-8 yards in front of us, and she had these like short shorts, and they're like black and white striped, like vertically. And I just looked at him, looked at Keith, and I was like, you like white girls? And he was like, I like girls. Like, we gonna get along then. And ever since then, we've been friends. Thanks to that chick's fat wagon in those short shorts. So, And I think it's funny that the shorts are also black and white because, anyway, I just had to get that out there. But so Four Loko night happened, and we invited Keith. It was myself, and then we were at this dude's 1-bedroom apartment. Once again at Meadowbrook on Biloxi, but this was a different apartment. One of the guys, like some of the guys from the first one were there, so we were all hanging out. And somebody brought Four Lokos, and I bought. I didn't bring it because I was only 20 at the time, or 19. I had got a 6-pack of Milk Stout Nitro. So I was like, I want something nice because this was before like
I left hand.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Like, but this was like before I realized that like cheap beer is also good beer. Like I was like, no, it's got to be like this level shit or whatever. And like I got that. Somebody had like a bunch of Budweiser. Somebody had brought like some vodka, and then like somebody bought Four Lokos, one for all the dudes that were there. Because the girl that was there was like, I'm not drinking that nasty shit because it's fucking terrible. And I was there last time. I'm not fucking doing that. And then, so, of course, she wants to be in Team Mom, which is whatever. So, what happened was, we all started drinking. There's probably 8 of us in there. Just getting fucking hammered. You know, shots of vodka, drinking beer, and eventually, like everybody's got, like, a real good buzz. They're, like, 3 drinks in. That's when we bust out the Four Lokos, which is not something you should ever do. So, we bust out the Four Lokos, and we're all just sitting around drinking it. And then, and keep in mind, this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, so that toilet is working overtime. Like, people just pissing and shitting, so that it's, like, constantly getting flushed. People in and out of the bathroom. There's, like, water getting everywhere because we're getting drunk. Just shit's getting messy. People aren't having shirts on. There's a lampshade on my head. There's a picture from that night, which I should probably find that picture. It's like that classic, like, college party. Like, that's what's happening in here. Just people just acting like children. And me and Keith had finished our Four Lokos at this point, and we had gotten to the point to where it was like, damn, I'm fucked up. Like, you can't really see straight. Shit's fucking going sideways. And then Keith's like, damn, I got a shit, man. And he just, like, goes to the bathroom, take a shit, and I'm like, Keith's got a shit. And, like, we just go back to drinking. And then, like, 20 minutes go by, and I'm like, where the hell Keith at? Like, oh, I think he's still in the bathroom. And I'm like, Keith, you good, dog? And he was like, I'm good. And I was like, you sure? And I cracked open the door. He didn't like it. Cracked the door. He's just, like, sitting on the toilet. Just still, like, on the toilet.
Just mad chilling.
Yeah, well, but no, he's like, his head is, like, down, like, at his legs. Like, he's, like, hunched, like, doubled over on the toilet. And I'm like, ooh, man. I was like, all right, man.
You got that old heavy head.
Yeah, and I just, like, kind of closed the door. And I was like, he's still shitting. And then one dude's like, I gotta piss. So, like, we just, like, walked out to the parking lot to where some trees were and took a piss because, like, toilet was occupied and there was 8 dudes in there and, you know, so whatever. Another 20 minutes goes by, you know, we're still drinking, I think we were playing like Uno or some shit. Like, damn, where the fuck Keith at? Let's go back there, and then I open up the door, and this is where the poster comes into play. So, I see Keith pass the fuck out, just like butt naked, or maybe had his underwear on. I don't remember. I'll have to look at the picture again. And there's just shit just fucking everywhere. There's like a towel around him. And it's just a nasty scene. And I'm just like, all right, I'm taking a picture of this for posterity. So I take a picture of this. Oh, my friend just passed the fuck out, covered in shit, smells like shit, like didn't wipe. And I just like, okay. And then I close the door and I'm like, he'll wake up. Like, I was too drunk to like be benevolent or like empathetic at that point. I'm like, man, shit really does happen. And I just close the door and let it happen.
Like, this is a situation beyond my control.
Yeah, and
I'm too fucked up to deal with this right now.
And by that point, it was about 11:30, and I lived on the other end of the complex, so all I had to do was just walk home, which is why I got so fucked up. I was like, I don't have to drive. Like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna get fucked up. So I like stumble back home. It's like a 200-yard walk. It's not too bad, but stumble back home, and I go to bed. And then that is where my eyewitness part of the story ends, and this is where I get all of the other parts. So before I get into that, I want to talk about like the next morning, like I had work because it was like we did it on a Saturday, and I worked like Sunday at like 10:30. I came in because I used to work at Jimmy John's, once again right around the corner. And when I worked there, I was like, fuck, I feel like shit. It was okay because I got up at like 9, so I got plenty of sleep. I just drank way too much. Took a hot shower, ate a breakfast, and like when I was like, oh fuck, like there's still like 2 or 3 of those beers from that left-hand milk stout. So I'm like, gonna walk down over there, get my beer, and then just take it home and then go to work. And I walked down there, and door was unlocked. This isn't good. I open up the door. Smells like fucking Four Loko, vomit, and shit. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, it smelled like a daycare for adults. Like, it was terrible. And I walked in, and then like, the girl who was there, like, woke up. She was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I was just here to get my beer. She's like, just take it and leave. It's like, cool. Took it, left, and then, so apparently this is what had happened between the time I had showed up from the time I left to the time I'd showed up to pick up the rest of my beer. Keith, apparently, like, the girl had came in and, like, flushed the toilet for him, like, kind of dressed him up and, like, got the shower running. And then he was, like, hopped in the shower, and he's just, like, just drunk as shit, just taking a shower. Just standing in hot water. And then she was like, just clean yourself up, just go to bed. You can sleep in the bed in the room there. And then, so he got out, dries himself off, puts towel around his waist, and like, oh, damn, I got to shit, and just sits down and just shits in the towel while he's sitting on the toilet, and then just passes back out on the floor again.
Oh, this pains me.
And that is why we call him Towel Boy. And then apparently one of the other guys just, like, started projectile vomiting, like, in the living room, like, on the wall and shit.
I thought he tried to hide the towel. Was that a part of it?
Well, like, he wadded it up and, like, threw it in, like, the tub. Or something, but like he's drunk as fuck. He's like continuously passing out, and he's just like, "Get this shit off of me!" and just like threw it and just like fell back asleep on this cold ass bathroom floor. And then while like that's going on, the other guy that was staying the night was just projectile vomiting. So that's where the vomit smell came from. And apparently, like he had to like go out to like the little patio and like puke in the bushes or some shit because like he kept throwing up inside and he couldn't go to the bathroom because Keith's wrapped up in a shit towel. And then, they filled me in on all that because then that's why it smelled like vomit, shit, and Four Loko. And that's why we call him Towel Boy. And that's why and that was the last time I've had a Four Loko until today.
Broke the streak.
Oh, man. It was a good streak. I need to keep it up after this one because this shit is fucking nasty.
The gold ones are a lot better.
I'm sure that they are.
I mean, the gold ones just taste like alcoholic Red Bull.
That's fair. But this is what I'm used to having. Liquid pain. It's terrible, man. It's like objectively terrible.
The can's even camouflage. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't want you to find it.
Right, yeah. Like it's like a green, a lighter green, and a red like camo paint. And oh man. See, and I'm a big fan of Riff Raff. I don't know why. But I am. And, like, he was part of the rap group Three Loko with him, Andy Milonakis, and a dude named Dirt Nasty.
That was a thing?
Yeah. They have this one song called Nito. I'll just have to show it to you. First of all, it's a fucking bop. And if you want some happy time rap jams, you need to look up Three Loko. It's like a 8 to 10 song album. It's like comedic rap, but it's really well done.
I remember Andy Milonakis from two things in my life. That weird ass show that he had on MTV.
The Andy Milonakis show?
Yeah. And he was it went viral not too long ago. I'd say not too long ago. It was probably a year ago. Yeah. And he was like live streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like the IRL stuff.
Yeah, because he has that. Yeah.
And he walked into a CVS to buy Nicorette gum. And the cashier didn't believe that.
He was like 34.
Yeah. He's like, this ID's fake. And Andy's like, what do you mean? I just need my Nicorette gum. I'm trying to quit smoking.
You fucking jackass. Yeah, because like he's got like a disease or something to where like he looks like he's 14.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of his life. But I think that's really but him, a dude named Dirt Nasty, and Riff Raff are all on like an album together. They have a song called Nito, and then Make 'Em Wait. Some really like listen to that album like brings me back to my first semester at TJC, or first or second, like the whole first year, just because like one of my friends showed it to me.
Man, I kind of wrote off Riff Raff after he got the whole MTV neck tattoo thing.
He got that a long time ago.
I know.
I didn't get into him until Neon Icon came out, which is like 2014.
I knew the name and I saw the face and the blonde braids and the MTV neck tattoo, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm on board with this.
Yeah, well, see, now he doesn't have braids anymore. He's got his matte black $1 million mullet.
He tried to take on the Ric Flair persona.
Pretty much, pretty much. He drives like this big ass like lifted F-150, and he's got like it's like custom the fuck out. He lives in a mansion in Las Vegas called the Coding Castle. Like this dude
Of course
is.
he does.
Like this dude is like a living meme, and it bothers me that he's not more popular because like he's so like excess. It's so great. Like this is why people with a GED shouldn't get a lot of money. But honestly, I do think that he's like a really smart individual because like you have to be like pretty smart to be able to like to have that like personification of yourself. Then again, I'm pretty sure he also does a lot of cocaine.
There's always that too. I don't know. It just kind of reminds you of DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Khaled.
Yeah,
Khaled.
Fat brown guy.
Yeah, he was a big deal when I was in high school, and
Yeah.
he was like famous on Snapchat or whatever, and it was on like the recommended stories, and I subscribed to him for maybe a week and like just to see what it was about,
Yeah.
and see what everybody else was talking about because it was kind of a meme. It was like everybody else was talking about it on the internet and kind of making fun of him, and this dude, it's hard for me to believe that it wasn't a persona.
Yeah.
It's like
he
would just like front facing camera like video himself like on a elliptical just working out, and he would do that every day, and he's like
it's like on that grind.
Yeah, gotta have the keys to success. Won't stop for nothing.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, you're fat as shit. Like, stop, please.
It's like, I mean, I guess if that's like a form of motivation for you, you think other people care about that. Yeah. I guess that works.
I mean,
but
like nobody gives a fuck about this show, but I still keep doing it.
He just seemed like oblivious. I mean, you're aware that not a whole lot of people watch this show,
right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's completely different if somebody like. I don't know.
Dude, Ego's a fucking killer, man.
Yeah,
like
Ego like swole.
Ugh. Oh well. But at any rate, yeah, I never got on board with like people that are famous kind of for the like famous for being famous, like the whole like it's a scapegoat, but like the Kardashian, like that whole like why people give a shit about like what they have to think about, like what if they actually contributed to society, you know?
But they didn't.
Yeah, I know. Like the only reason why they're famous is because OJ murdered 2 people.
Butterfly effect, I guess.
Yeah, butterfly effect. Like, damn it, if like somebody, you know, like from the Jets or the Patriots, you know, just would have just like fucking blew his knees out harder earlier in his career, he probably wouldn't have been as famous. Probably wouldn't have murdered Nicole Kidman. Because, you know, they being an AFC team would have played those 2 teams a lot. I don't know. Although I did watch a lot of O.J. Simpson highlights because I did have like a weird fascination like with the whole like O.J. trial, and like me being as big into sports history as I am, I was like, I got to see this shit, and like that motherfucker was fucking good.
Oh, yeah, he totally deserved an MVP.
Like holy shit! Like
I mean, just because he won an MVP doesn't make him a bad person.
Yeah.
Or doesn't not make him a bad person. I do not in any way support OJ's decisions.
Okay, like this is what blows my mind. How because like I'm not on Twitter because fuck Twitter, because it's like super against like people having like their own opinions. Like I get it, like it's a private platform.
It's super left wing.
Like you know like whatever. Like I'm like center right.
I mean,
most part.
I'm all for everybody like supporting their own political opinion, but when you start silencing those that do have an opinion, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's like different. There's like, oh, they're a Nazi. Like, no, not really. They just think that, you know, white people, you know, should also be part of a vote too, and like you shouldn't be like ashamed to be a white person. Like, does that make them racist? Like, fuck no. Like, I don't think you should be ashamed of being white, because I'm not. And like, but at the same time, it's like if someone's black and proud of that, like, oh, dude, cool for you, man.
Exactly.
You know, don't be fucking kill whitey. I mean, you know, but. Whatever. I digress. Point is that the fact that like you can't say shit like, you know, that's like mild racism on Twitter because you'll get your account banned. But fucking OJ Simpson be like, "Hello, Twitter world, it's your old pal OJ." Dude, it's like what the like you're a murderer.
I listened to Joe Rogan talk about this.
Probably too much. Yeah.
It's like somebody had a gun to his head like during the videos. Mm-hmm. It's like he's not talking like a normal person.
I don't think that. I think that OJ has like a lot of. He's probably suffering from CTE. I would not be surprised if that was a thing.
I mean, that makes sense, but
and I know that like he had like a real difficult relationship like with his family, so I'm sure that there's like a lot of other I'm sure that he's a very like aggressive individual, so it's like for him being nice is like an acting gig in and of itself. That's probably why he sounds as fake as he does.
That is true.
But let me tell you, man, his stats were killer. Dude, he rushed for 5,000 yards in a 14-game season. That's
pretty impressive.
like the shooting part was like that was all the Bills had. And one last thing about OJ was like in the 90s, like in the mid 90s, like when that was all happening with the OJ trial and everything. For the most part, black people felt that he was innocent, and white people felt that he was guilty. But you also have to think about like the LA riots and like all that was going on at the same fucking time.
Oh, dude, the LA riots were crazy.
Yeah, because like you could say what you want about police brutality now, like Baltimore in 2012, or like it doesn't fucking compare to LA in the like late 80s and early 90s in terms of like police brutality. Way fucking different. It's a lot better now.
I mean, it made NWA popular.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm a Raiders fan, because real niggas don't die. That was one of their albums, and it was one of the songs off a Niggas for Life album. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, that's what it's called. What am I supposed to call it?
That's the title.
But at any rate, but like all that was going on, and then like on top of that, you get like the black guy who like ascended and like was accepted into everyone's home, and was like had a white wife, and it was all cool. Winds up murdering her. It's like, oh, of course, like a fucking course, you know, like it like validates like stereotypes on both ends.
Yeah.
So all that's going on. And then, like, white people across the board were like, yeah, he's guilty, except for those who lived in Buffalo, New York. We're like, no, he didn't do it. like
that man's a goddamn legend.
Yeah, like, that man, like, he might only play in, like, 2 playoff games, but I don't care. I thought that was fucking hilarious how, like, Buffalo, New York was just like, nah, he didn't do it. He didn't do it even though he had, like, a loaded revolver, a fake mustache, a goatee, and $5,000 cash on him in his freeway vehicle.
The glove didn't fit, man.
Yeah. Dude, like, have you ever tried to put socks on wet feet? You notice how they don't fit? Yeah. Anyway, so for all the lovely listeners out there,
Enough about homicide.
Enough about homicide. Trent and I had a lovely conversation earlier via text about how the Nintendo GameCube controller is the best controller. And I do have to agree with him with that. And then I said second best. Or like, okay, like GameCube controller is like solid S tier. Like, it's really hard to come across something like that good.
Most definitely. Because it just like fits your hand like,
it fits perfect.
Like a latex glove.
Yeah.
Like
and like in like the A button
wants to grab it.
Yeah, and like the A button's like nice and big. You can just roll your thumb to the other 3 buttons. The C stick and the analog stick feel nice, responsive. The L and R buttons are analog.
Yeah, and the controllers are durable, man.
Yeah.
Like with the PlayStation 4
they're still using
nowadays,
them for the new Smash game.
Exactly. The new PlayStation 4 controllers, the grips just. I mean, I know my grip ripped off in like within a year.
Really?
Like, yeah. Then I just have like plastic little sticks.
Oh yeah, so it just digs into your hand.
Exactly. Yeah. But the durability of the GameCube controller, those are still alive.
Oh yeah,
people still buy those.
Yeah, like people buy them like at resale shops and then use them to play the Smash Bros game that came out like last year because they buy like the multi-tap for it for the Switch or whatever. But a solid A tier controller for me is got to be the Xbox 360. Like because mostly because you could put AA batteries in it. So it's cheap as hell to power, or you can buy a battery pack, or you can get the wired version. And they all felt really good.
I don't know if this is a bold statement or not, but I'm gonna say Xbox One is also S tier.
S tier? I would put Xbox One in B tier because it feels so much blockier than the 360.
I guess that makes sense because the triggers. The triggers are more designed to like fit your hand,
but I don't like them.
Instead of being an actual trigger.
Yeah.
The reason why I put it up so high is because of the triggers themselves have the triggers vibrate.
Really?
So if you ever play like Forza Motorsports or anything like that,
see, I only play PC, so I don't even get a rumble feature anymore.
You use that as the gas. And,
okay.
And you can feel exactly when the RPMs go up and when you're shifting.
Oh, you can shift. Oh, that's
in the triggers.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. But also, like Forza has been like known for taking like everything that the hardware has to offer and really pushing it to the limit.
Dude, I've spent so much time on Forza Horizon 3. That's what it was. That was my game. Spent way too much time on that.
Yeah, I stopped buying consoles after the 360. I haven't had a console since then. Like I've played like a PS4, an Xbox One, and a Wii U and a Switch, but I just haven't really played it because like I switched to PC and I'm like I can just upgrade this, just keep it running. But controllers that are like B tier, I would say like all the PlayStation controllers are solid B tier for me because like they're super functional. They're like you can charge most like PS3 and PS4 you can just charge like a USB charger.
Right.
Problem is though is that I hate the way the analog sticks feel on them. Like they feel like old nipples.
They are bulbous. I wouldn't compare them to old nipples, but
but like you know what I mean.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Like I hate how they're convex, so like they push out. It's not like concave to where like your thumb like fits into it.
Yeah, I get that.
Which is like that's and also like I feel like the controller's too wide, like your hands are too far apart, and it's too light for its size, which is a minor complaint.
That has to do with what model controller that you got.
Yeah.
Because with the older consoles, they built them a whole lot more durable. The controllers are actually heavier.
Yeah, like the original PS1 controllers without the analog stick, like, dude, you could run those things over with a truck.
Yeah.
And they'll be just fine. Like, the one that I played with as a kid, like, had, like, dog chew, like, shit. Oh, it worked just fine.
Yeah.
Worked just fine.
Had the cable that runs all the way up to the console, just like electrical taped out.
Yeah,
know exactly. What
that's
you mean.
exactly how it looked. Like it was like spliced and like put back together, and had like 3 different types of tape on it. But it worked, like because like it was just 8 buttons or whatever, you know. But I would say the PS1 controller is probably one of the better ones. But like the analog sticks, I just never liked them. They kind of made them a little better in the PS4, but like up from the PS1, PS3 with the analog sticks just was not a thing for me. I do, and this is controversial, I also put the N64 controller in B tier.
Ooh.
Primarily because like it fits so well in your hand, even if it is unorthodox.
But does it? Does it fit well in your hand?
Maybe I'm just telling myself that because I really like Majora's Mask.
I mean, I would say it fits well in one hand. Mm-hmm. The one hand that's holding the center with the analog and the trigger.
Yeah.
But it just feels wonky to me.
See,
I enjoy the controller because it's nostalgic to me.
Sure, but like playing Mario Kart 64, got the Z button. Like it feels good.
You're not really sure if the analog stick's working or not.
Yeah.
You're just pushing it in the right direction.
And I was like, I'm trying to go left. I think I'm going left. Yeah, but like what I don't like about the N64, it's not so much the controller, but the way that it was programmed was the fact that like the analog stick and the Z button was not interchangeable with the D-pad and the L button, so you couldn't just hold it. Like on the left and the right, because like that was more reserved for like 2D or fighting games. Like you could play Mortal Kombat Trilogy on it, and it plays great like that because it's better to use a D-pad than it is an analog stick for fighting games. Like
They're more precise.
Yeah, it's more, especially that analog stick is fucking terrible. But I do like how like big the controller is. Like it felt good to put in my hands. I didn't feel like I was like crowded around because like a controller that I do feel crowded around in. Which I'm going to put in D tier, is the Sega Genesis Model 2.
D tier?
Because, I'm
going to have to argue with you, with you on this one.
Okay, think about it. This isn't the 3-button one. This is the 6-button one.
Right.
They made it really tiny, and I have big thumbs, so I like wind up pushing multiple buttons. And there's no start or pause button. Like there's just start, but there's no pause. Like there's just start and select. What I'm meant to say.
Yeah. But they're like sideways. They're like a diagonal
above
the buttons.
Yeah, and I did not care for that. But now the regular Genesis controller I do like.
What you were saying about the analog sticks a minute ago in like a Xbox One controller, how they like divot.
Yeah.
That's how the Sega Genesis buttons were. And
yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
I will agree with you on that because like on the Super Nintendo, they did 2 that were in and then 2 that pushed out. So if you played in the dark, you could feel where your hand was, which is kind of nice.
That's clever.
Because when I grew up, we had a Super Nintendo, we had a GameCube, and then we saved us money and got a 64 for like a handful of games we used to play at friends' houses. And then we got an Xbox and then a 360. That was like our order. And then I got a Genesis later on in life when I was like 16 or 17.
I did the same thing with the Genesis.
Yeah. Because I got it for like $20, and the games were like $3 each.
Right.
And then they're a lot of fun. Like Shining Force is a great game. I got like a bunch of Mortal Kombat games for it. I got a lot of Sega Sonic games.
I have a soft place in my heart for Golden Axe. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was my favorite game on Sega Genesis.
I can get behind that for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely just a good old.
I don't want to talk about the sequels, but Golden Axe.
I feel like the first one was really good.
Yeah.
So another controller that I'm gonna fucking put this. I'm gonna put this bitch in S tier. This
Wiimote.
No.
The Wiimote?
Wiimote is
said
like
the Wiimote.
Wiimote is F, and we'll get to that. But the other controller I'm going to put in S tier, right up there with the GameCube, is the original Xbox controller, like the Duke model, like the one that's big as shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Really?
Where it's got like the big ass Xbox logo that's like 4
OG
inches.
Xbox?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the one that like when you go to like controller layout on Halo 1, like that's the controller that it shows.
I feel like that's the nostalgia talking.
I love that fucking. I have 4 of them.
Because have you ever held it in your hand?
I have 4 of them.
How well does it fit in your hand?
It fits great. I have Shrek hands. It's like it works.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you on
Like I love how like the analog sticks are different. Like one has like a real small concave and the other one has a bigger concave.
Yeah.
The controller, like the triggers are super springy. The buttons are like offset in a way to where like they're big and vibrant. And it's just like a massive controller. Like I love it. Like that one, like that was the first console that the United States had made since the Atari had came out. Right. They're like, we're gonna make it big as shit. This is America. We're gonna have Mountain Dew and Doritos.
8 miles to the gallon.
Yeah,
God damn it.
pretty much. You know, it's like an automatic transmission. Just put it in D and go. Like that's like what that console was, and I thought it was. And also, it's super durable. Like you can drop them and they're fine, which I've dropped them a lot. But Wiimote, no,
Dude,
fuck that.
I've dropped. Consoles are a whole lot more durable than you actually think they are.
Especially the GameCube. That thing's indestructible.
My parents were separated. They separated when I was like probably 3. And so I spent most of my life going back and forth from my mom and my dad's house. Mm-hmm. Like I would go to my dad's house every other weekend. Yeah. And I love video games. So I would always carry like a video game console with me. And that's the thing, like my PlayStation 3 that I still have to this day, it's like that thing has survived some drops, or like just flops out of the trunk of the car.
Oh shit! I'm surprised. Like usually the first thing that would go, I think that'd be either like the hard drive or the disc reader. Yeah. But I guess if it's not running,
disc reader, it most definitely. Yeah. I still have one of the OG PlayStation 3s that is like PlayStation 2 compatible.
Oh, nice.
I'm just like holding on to it, and I'm like savoring it until I'm getting that yellow light of death, which I'm praying I don't get.
Yeah, I never read Ring to Death on my 360. Granted, it sounds like a lawnmower trying to start when it runs because like the fan, like one of the fans is going out, and like the disc drive is just loud as shit. Oh man,
they're actually super easy to repair if you know anything about like putting together computers.
Yeah, I mean like it's essentially just like a scaled down desktop.
Yeah.
So, which I think is kind of nice.
More compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Had trouble with that word.
There was a word, I need to put this in the edit. Last week, I couldn't think of the word eclectic. Because that's like what Ashley refers to my style as. Like, nothing really goes together, but when it's all put together, like, it works.
Right.
And, like, that's my basic understanding of the word. And I just, like, couldn't fucking think because I was drunk as shit drinking that fucking moonshine the other week. God. Oh, man, that stuff was harsh. Makes you start saying things you don't really mean. You ever sip lean? Like that's the closest thing to drinking lean. Oh man, like you just start like it's after that show we kept drinking like a lot, and then man, shit got weird. But okay, so S tier we got the 360 and the Duke, and you can bait that, but you're wrong. No, not 360. The GameCube and the Duke, and then in A tier we got the 360. Like, I
want your opinion on this.
Okay.
Where does the Wii U controller fall?
The Wii U controller, like with the screen on it?
With the screen on it. F tier.
F tier?
That's the correct answer.
Oh, really? Yeah. Like, because your hands are super far apart. It feels
like
weird.
The games were like, they were so cheesy.
But yeah, like
that like whole generation of console, it was like so uninspired. All the games were.
Yeah, the way that I felt about the Wii U is the way I felt about like the DS. Like when it first launched, it was like we're just gonna like everything has to do with the touchpad. Like I get it, but it felt super gimmicky after a while.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then like later releases, like on like the DS, it's like like they utilize the screen as like a menu or something, or if you want to draw stuff or whatever, but like it's not like pertinent to the gameplay. Like later Pokemon titles and stuff, because like I have like Pokemon Moon or Pokemon Y is what I have on the 2DS, and like I have Animal Crossing on the 2DS, and it doesn't utilize that like it's not pertinent to the gameplay.
I have a 2DS as well. Fuck that 3D gimmick.
Yeah, well,
I'm not buying it.
Well, like I have astigmatism and I get motion sickness super easy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $100 extra and like want to throw up playing the fucking game. Like, no, thank you.
You're not gonna Pavlov me into not liking Pokemon.
Yeah, hell no, dude. What's your favorite generation?
Ooh, I would have. I think it's the 3rd generation. Whatever
Sapphire,
whatever Emerald is.
Yeah, Sapphire, Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald is 3rd. My favorite is 2, which is Gold, Silver, and Crystal.
That's fair. Yeah.
I really like. I mean, granted, like, you know, you have a huge step back in terms of like graphical capabilities and stuff. But like overall, like Pokemon you could catch, and the fact that there were 2 regions you could go to.
Did you ever play like the remakes of those on DS?
Yeah, I have my brother got Heart Gold and I got Soul Silver.
I had Heart Gold, and I feel like my grandma got it from a coworker whose son was trying to get rid of their console, but they didn't sell it for some reason. She just like gave away the games, and my grandma got Heart Gold, and she just like gave it to me. Of course, I'm like looking at it like it's the Holy Grail, like 13 years old. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
I pop it in my DS, and I start it up. And of course, it's already on somebody's save file. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just curious, like, open up their save files to see what they have. And it's like all garbage Pokemon. Walk out of the Pokemon Center into the tall grass that's sort of to the left of the Pokemon Center. And what do I come across? A goddamn Entei.
Fucking shit. Did you catch him?
Right off the bat. Of course I didn't catch him.
Oh, yeah. No.
It was like I didn't know the moveset of all the Pokemon that he had in this party, and I'm not trying to assume genders, but didn't mean to say he, but yeah, he had like maybe 3 Pokeballs in his inventory, and you know how hard legendaries are to catch.
Yeah, like you pretty much need like the step below Master Ball.
Absolutely, and you throw 80 of those.
Nice, yeah. Just fucking chunk them. What is it? One of my brother's friends in high school, like middle school, high school, because like he had like Ruby, and like him and another friend like had Sapphire, and his friend that had Ruby had a Game Shark, so that motherfucker would put 99 Master Balls in his inventory.
Oh my god!
Like he filled up the Pokédex because he had 99 Master Balls, and like he got like you're just like there's no fun in it anymore. Like, you're just cheating. You're just cheating. Oh, but that's one thing I do miss about like a lot of games is like back in the day, like when you bought the game, especially like a game cartridge, like before like internet connectivity was a thing with game consoles, like
right.
like that's the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
And like if they wanted to update it, they had to re-release the game.
They couldn't just like release an unfinished game and then just like do a day 1 patch and finish it.
Yeah.
Like
no.
I mean, think about all the people that don't have fucking internet. That's bullshit.
Yeah. That was me until I moved to Tyler. Like it's like we had internet, but it was like really slow. It was so slow you couldn't really even watch YouTube on it.
Right.
But
the good old satellite internet.
Yeah, it was like really. it was like the lowest grade satellite. So it was like you could like get on like Facebook or something, but you couldn't do anything.
Yeah. I lived with my parents in Rusk, and they had Exceed, which is a satellite internet provider, and there was 2 kids, me, my mom, and my stepdad living in that house, and only one person could watch Netflix at a time, and that would take up the entire bandwidth.
Sounds about right.
It was so goddamn frustrating.
Yeah. You're just like 17 trying to look at lewd images, and you're like, God damn it!
I mean, no, but
yeah, I wish I could say that. Anyway, God, I'm fucking done with porn, man. I fucking hate porn. That's a topic for another time. We can get on that later.
All right.
At any rate, so like we didn't have internet, so you know, like when you just bought the game, you just like bought the game, and then like, oh, it's not working. You just and then like pop it the fucker in, and that boom, now it works.
Yeah.
Or like get some Windex on a Q-tip. What's so cool is like I'm a pretty big Zelda fan because I'm a huge faggot, and I really like Ocarina.
I like how you prefaced that.
Yeah, no, like I really like Ocarina of Time, and I'm such a loser that I like researched like which game was like the first initial release that came out, because on the bottom of the cartridge there'll be like a tag, and there were 4 different iterations of the game that came out on 64, and One of them was like the gold card original release. One was like the updated version of that. One was the like millionth seller release. Then one was like the finalized version, like with all the patches and bug fixes and everything. And then that's what was usually ported onto. That's the version that was ported onto the GameCube, and because when they remade it for the GameCube, which is actually I didn't play Ocarina of Time growing up as a kid on the 64. We played it on the GameCube because my parents bought my brother the GameCube for his 9th birthday. That's it was like that was the bundle, was that and the Game Boy adapter.
GameCubes are baller, man. Like,
and that's why mine's silver, because like I stole it from him and he can fight me over it. So yeah, and like so when I wasn't like the mirror shield had like a different logo, like a different emblem on it. It didn't have like a crescent moon. I was like, what the fuck's up with that? So I looked into it and I was like, oh, if you can find this particular copy, then like that's like the original one. And there's a game store out in Gilmer called Games to Go, and it's pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, Games to Go is tight, man.
Like Games to Go, like
they actually have one of those in Kilgore if you were looking to maybe go to one.
Oh, it's a little closer.
I used to always go to that one. It's like in the same little shopping center as Walmart is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like next to like Cato and like a Loans place.
And there's a Games to Go.
Yeah,
I know that there's one in Longview and one in Gilmer. I didn't know that there was one in Kilgore.
The one in Kilgore actually had one of the that promotion that Taco Bell had, where they like were giving away PlayStation 4s that were like custom, and it made like the Taco Bell sound like when you turned on the system,
which is ridiculous.
They actually had one at Games to Go. They were reselling it. It had a sticker price of like $800.
Just because they're super rare.
They only made like 200 of them.
Yeah,
and it was crazy that it was actually in East Texas. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, usually that's something that happens in like California.
Yeah,
but anyway, so like I went into that Games to Go and they had a gold cart Ocarina of Time.
Ooh,
it was like $35, and I was like, ooh, it's like 35 is a lot of money for a game made in 1998. It's literally older than my truck, which is not, which is pretty old. But I was like, but I know it's a good game. And I looked at the cartridge, and it was like the tag for the version 1.00 release, like day one release card. Like if you pre-ordered the game, like this is a copy that you could have got.
Ooh.
So I bought it, and it does. And I talked him down to $30. Like I got 30. And I really had like $40 on me, but I was like, I'm trying to like. It's like I was like, are all the prices fine? I was like, actually, like we're cool with haggling to a point. And I was like, all right. It's like, how about 25? He's like, I can do 30.
Start speaking Hebrew.
Yeah. Oy vey, you tried to rub all the shekels out of me. Anyway. But yeah, so I bought it, took it home, played through it about 7 times now. Still have it. I have that. Like, I have all the Zelda titles from the first one up to Twilight Princess. That includes the Game Boy versions.
Ooh.
So, pretty happy about that.
Nice.
I take that back. I do not have Minish Cap, which is on Game Boy Advance.
How bad have you been itching to play Wind Waker? Not Wind Waker. What's the newest one? What's it called?
Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild.
Wind Waker came out like 2002, dog.
I'm going to get like murdered on the internet for calling it that. But
I mean, yeah, I want to play it, but I also don't want to buy a Switch. And the problem is if I get a Switch, it's like $300 right off the bat.
Right.
And then $50-$60 per game, and there's only like 3 games I even want. My brother has a Switch now, so I could probably just borrow it from him for a little bit when he gets tired of playing it. So I might do that. I would like to play it, but I'm not like dead set.
I'm not completely sold on the new Pokemon games.
I'm not either.
Like, I was excited for them to come out, but like it just looks so different, and I'm like, that's not Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah. It's just, I don't know. Like it's weird. Like that's the thing about like getting older, when like seeing like learning to let go of like franchises that you really liked, such as whether it be a video game or like a movie series or anime or whatever.
Just enjoying it for like what it was.
Yeah.
Instead of like holding on to like it being the next big thing.
Yeah. And like, like Star Wars, it's like a huge letdown. Like all the new movies, like I don't care if you're the biggest Star Wars fan, like you cannot objectively tell me that Episode 8 is better than Episode 5.
I mean, I kind of checked out when like the IP was bought by Disney, but
yeah,
I kind of expected it because I mean, I had a moment of realization last night. Like I was scrolling through Disney Plus, and I'm like, this is like they're becoming Netflix, but they started the platform like a whole lot later than Netflix did. They just acquired all these properties, instead of doing it all at once, like in the beginning, and crushing Blockbuster. Rest in peace.
Yeah, or Movie Gallery.
Oh, movie gallery, man. That's where probably a quarter of my video games came from.
Yeah, I remember renting Call of Duty 3, beating it in one weekend because like my parents like went away for the weekend. I was like 14, like just watch the house because I couldn't go for some reason. I don't remember what the fuck it was. So I got to rent that video game and I played it and beat it in the whole weekend. That was like the most like a teenager I ever felt because I was like I beat a whole game in a weekend. Because when I was a kid growing up, my parents were always like you couldn't play video games for more like an hour a day. They were like and they were pretty good about that. I'm glad that they were. But it made games seem like it took forever to fucking beat them. And then now, I beat a game in like 2-3 weekends, and I'm like, oh shit. If I just limit myself to an hour, like, because I recently played Outer Worlds, really great game. I'd recommend it.
Oh yeah.
I really liked it, and it's a shorter game, but if I played it an hour a day, it would take me a month to beat it, But
that's one of those games you just have to like binge play.
Yeah. Like Fallout 3.
Did it have like the soul of New Vegas?
Yeah. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of like glaring flaws in the game, but just play with no expectations and just have fun.
I've kind of wanted to get it, but I mean, it hasn't had a price drop recently. I mean,
is it
like,
still $60?
I don't know about spending like $40 on a video game.
Dude, I bought it the day it came out. I bought it the day it came out. The last time I paid full price for a game was October 2015 for Fallout 4.
Probably close to same.
Because I was just like, I could either buy resale because like I switched to PC and I just it's on sale for Steam for like $12. You can have it.
This is bugging me. I can't remember the last full price game that I bought. Maybe.
These things are fucking terrible. Frankly, I'm tired of drinking it.
It's too sugary.
Yeah.
It's way too sugary.
It's way too sugary. So.
And I didn't think I'd ever say that.
Yeah.
I found this comedic because I'm like the youngest person in our friend group.
Yeah.
And we're drinking Four Locos.
I know. It's like, like the one time we can't have like technically this is an adult beverage, but it's really not. God, see, the problem that I have with Four Locos is, first of all, they fucking suck. This does not get the Whiskey Dan seal of approval. And this is like the first thing. It took me 21 episodes to drink something that I absolutely hate. Like, we're nearly done with the episode, and I'm like, I got another third of the can to go here. Like, I'm just straight up not having a good time. Oh, God, I miss old Milwaukee, man. I think I should redo that episode. It's such a good beer. It deserves 2 episodes. Probably 3, but...
Old Milwaukee Part 2.
Dude, man, it's always Old Milwaukee Part something with me.
You should do High Life next.
I've done High Life.
Since you like to drink Grandpa beers.
I did High Life. I did that with Tall, Dark, and Handsome.
Oh,
like
shit.
the whole band came over. Well, except for Kenny. He wasn't there.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, the Michael, Daniel, and Keith came. And that was episode 15, and that's like when we started doing like the after show party.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah. Which I think, let me go ahead and I think we're about to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything going on you want to say to the audience about work?
Work, definitely not, man. Don't go into sales. It'll drain your soul.
So, last closing statement I want to have is, so are you going to pump the Trump come November? Or
am I going to pump the Trump?
Yeah,
is that what you asked?
Yeah. Are you going to pump the Trump, or is Orange Man just too bad for you?
I'm voting for Mr. Bernie Sanders.
Really?
Yeah. He's my guy.
He's such a spineless wimp.
Socialism's my thing, man. I don't know. I just feel like it's fair.
Is it fair?
In my opinion, yeah.
Like, so everybody's poor?
That's not necessarily.
I love setting up straw man arguments.
I don't think you realize how much money is in the top 1%.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's what he's wanting to tax the most.
I mean, that's fair, but why am I listening to a guy who doesn't understand what it's like to be poor to tell poor people what it's like to be poor?
What do you mean he doesn't understand?
He has 4 houses. He's a career politician, and he lives in an area that's 97% white. And this guy's talking to like inner city people, like he can relate to them.
I mean, I guess that's fair, but that's going to be honestly with all politicians.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
Like Mike Bloomberg.
Dude,
for example,
Bloomberg.
He spent. I saw it on the news tonight. He spent $1.67 million. Don't quote me on that, but it's near that on advertising, and that's why everybody hates him now. Is because it's like targeted advertisement. If you even like have a democratic thought.
Yeah. But, I mean...
He was advertising on meme pages, man.
Which is ridiculous. Like, yeah, he was, like, reaching out to, like, Instagram meme pages.
Yeah.
To, like, get them to, like, hey, would you do a shout-out for me? Like, fuck no, dude. Yeah, fuck Bloomberg. Fuck that guy. The whole Democratic group of people, the only one that I really liked was... I mean, like, I was okay with Andrew Yang for the most part.
So you don't like socialism?
I do not. I'm not a fan of socialism.
Do you realize what Yang's platform was?
Yeah, I mean it was socialistic in like that
universal
regard.
income.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that, but like a lot of like did like social stuff. Like I was more okay. As a Giants fan, watching the Democratic candidates
had to preface as a Giants fan.
As a Giants fan, I can't. When I look at like the Democratic candidates, it's like watching the AFC in the playoffs for me. Like it doesn't matter to me.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
I guess that makes sense.
Because but Andrew Yang, I was more okay with. Tulsi Gabbard was definitely my favorite. I really like Tulsi Gabbard because she was real big on like not having us fight endless wars in the Middle East just so people can own stock in Lockheed Martin and make a shitload of money off of it, which that's the 1% you're referring to.
Yeah.
So also she's really fucking hot. Like, a lot of dudes, like, it was like most of her support.
Is that how you want to choose your government's future?
I mean, sure.
Sure. God damn it.
You know, like, as she listens to this show, she understands that I'm a shithead, and she tells herself that I'm always joking. I mean, I know that I'm mostly joking, but when it comes down to the end of the day, am I really joking, or am I just the joke? Wow, Four Locos are stronger than what I remember.
Put her there.
Put her there. God, it just tastes like teenage angst.
Still doesn't taste any better.
No.
I was thinking about if I got through half of it, it would actually taste better. But
No,
it doesn't.
Still tastes like shit. Not shit. But just like putting a bunch of sugar in your mouth and punching your face.
It tastes like Crystal Light gasoline.
Yeah. Like, is this like what meth and sugar tastes like? Jesus. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Is there anything you want to have left to say to the audience? Anything at all?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Dude, I appreciate you having me.
Oh, dude.
This is like something I've wanted to cross off the bucket list forever. I've always going to be on a fucking podcast. This is cool as shit.
I mean, I don't have any intentions of shutting it down, and I always need people to come on because nobody ever wants to come on anymore.
Was that an invite?
Huh?
Was that an invite?
What?
Was that an invite?
Yeah, sure.
Dope.
Yeah.
I'll definitely come back if you want me to.
I mean, Keith's been on a couple times, Brother's been on a couple times, so yeah, we'll definitely have it a thing. That being said, Whiskey Dan Radio show stickers are out, so you can support your view of the show. They're in a limited run right now, but when I run out, I can order more. I'm selling them at cost for $1 whole. They're a 3x3 sticker of the logo that you're looking at right now, and you could put them on your cooler, your travel tumbler, or the back of your car to show how much of a fucking drunk asshole you are. Show your support for the show. You can come to my house and buy one. Because
he also accepts trade for alcohol. So.
Yeah. If you like give
capitalism
me
and whatnot.
Yeah, like if you can either give me $1 or give me 2 old Milwaukees, and that sticker is yours, my friend.
Honestly, you'd take one.
Yeah. Okay. You're not wrong. But that being said, I'm selling them at cost, really just to make the money back on paying for them. But other than that, that's all the bit of news that we have in regards to that. But other than that, any final statement? That's it. All right, man. Well, to all the listeners out there, if you want to write into the show, you can email me at whiskydanradio@gmail.com. Once again, we had Four Locos, the watermelon version, and I will probably never have another one again.
This is the last I'm going to tell you this. Get this fucking show on Spotify and get some listeners, man.
I need to.
Broaden that audience.
I am meeting with the guy who has all the logins for it, like this weekend. I'm going to Denton this weekend, and I'm going to get all that shit from him. And I don't think it's too expensive to put it all on there, so
absolutely not.
I'm gonna look into that for sure.
You need crowdsource.
Yeah, definitely crowdsource. So yeah, buy my goddamn stickers. All right, we're signing out.